Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster, welcoming you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. As you can tell, it's a different setting. That's what we're finding every week and enjoying every week of it. We're going out to the high schools where the coaches and the kids don't have to fight the traffic to get to us, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it. And we are at McAdory High School this week, home of the McAdory Yellow Jackets, and they're a proud tradition. They've been a school for many, many years, and have some very excellent athletic programs. We'll be talking with two of their coaches today. In our first segment, we'll be visiting with the volleyball coach, and later we'll be talking with their head football coach. So once again, we're tickled to death to be here at McAdory High School, and we look forward to having a good show with good guests, good kids, good coaches, and that's what we've been trying to do for y'all for a long time, and we're tickled to death that we can still do it. We're going to take a quick break. We come back, our first guest of the afternoon. Don't you go away.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling one-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine, shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrew Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, post-operative decisions, pre-operative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them, we're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing and as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.
And folks, as you can tell, I've got my first coach here of the afternoon. It's the head volleyball coach here at McAdory, and I'll let her introduce herself, and then we'll talk a little bit about her, let them find out a little bit about her background.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Susan Spielberger. This is my first year here at McAdory as the head varsity volleyball coach.
And Coach, from talking to you just a few moments ago, it sounds like you've been in the coaching business for a while.
Been coaching and teaching for over 25 years in the Birmingham area.
Well, sort of tell me a little bit of those stops that you have made and how you ended up being the head coach here at McAdory.
Well, I started out in the Catholic school system, had a great experience there, and then went on to public school, Then I decided I needed to take a break, have some time with my family. Then I came back into coaching and teaching this past January when this position opened up. I'm teaching phys ed at the high school. I'm also coaching the girls' soccer team too, head coach of the girls' soccer team.
Okay, now, so what, I get the idea you've had multi-coaching jobs with different sports. How many different sports have you coached?
I've coached basketball for girls and boys from ages 5 to senior in high school. I've coached softball for girls. I've coached soccer for younger children. I haven't coached varsity soccer before. And I've coached and volleyball. Of course, this is my first varsity volleyball coaching experience, but I've coached all the way up to the middle school before.
Well, let me ask you this about sports and young ladies sports in particular. Is this still a sport where, I don't mean this in a negative connotation at all, where you are still recruiting in the halls?
Oh, absolutely. One of my JV players was in my PE class last year. She's about 6'1", and I said, "You're going to try out for my volleyball team." She said, "Coach, I don't play volleyball." And I said, "Yes, you do now." And she's come a long way. She's never played before, but she's one of our better hitters on the JV team.
Well, I tell you what, ladies sports has come a long way. Because I remember back in the years, and I don't know, maybe you've coached some of this, where the girls played offense one half the court, defense the other half.
3-on-3.
But one thing that I've talked with coaches, both male and female, about is the difference between the young lady athletes and the young guys in most of the sports, like basketball, for instance. The guys play above the rim. The girls are not that tall or that big, but one thing that I have found out about young ladies, they know the basic principles of their sports. And what I mean by that, it's not all about shooting and scoring in basketball. It's not all about being the biggest and the fastest or whatever. It's what you can do. And the girls have really progressed in all the sports, the 25 years or so that you've been in it, haven't they?
I think that girls listen more and work together more. They play better as a team, whereas I think some in boy sports, they tend to play for the individual instead of for the team.
Well, I would agree with that totally, and it's good to see the old-fashioned, quote-unquote, old-fashioned teamwork in display when you watch lady athletics. It's not taking nothing away from their athletic ability. It's like you say, they take the basics, they practice it, and are better at it, really, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Now, talk about the new job for a coach, and we already know that it's this way for the athletes. It's an adjustment. Well, it's an adjustment for coaches too.
Sure.
Talk about that adjustment, how it has been, and some of the positive and maybe even some of the negatives that go along with that first year coaching.
Well, the coaching the first year, we had tryouts in the spring, and I did have some players that were on the varsity team that last year chose not to try out, which was their choice. No problem. We are definitely missing them this year on our varsity team. However, I have some seniors that are stepping up and some juniors right over here that are stepping up that are bringing our team a little bit together. We're starting to play better. We had a big win last night, and we have a big area match on Tuesday against Bessemer, our area rival, and hopefully we'll beat them and then win the area.
Well, here's the thing about it too, and I realize your sport is no different from the other in this aspect. And this should happen in all sports, not that it doesn't. In some years it just doesn't, but from the beginning to the end, all you're hoping is that your team improves and gets better, right?
Absolutely.
And
well, our goals for the year were to win the area, make it to regionals, perform well at regionals, and then if we perform well at regionals, then we'll make it to state.
well, and then that goes back to this other part of that equation. I was saying you coaches want them peaking at the right time, and the right time is playoff time.
Correct.
Now, I wonder what your philosophy is, because I talk to coaches about this a lot. In scheduling, well, like next year, will you be responsible for your schedule?
Absolutely.
All right, now here's what I want to ask you. Now, I think there are three kinds of teams that you can schedule. One is a team that you ought to beat.
Right.
Two is the team that you and your team may be. And three are the teams that you would really have to play well to beat them.
Correct.
And so you have to me, you have to coach a little of all of them. Every once in a while, it's not a bad thing in my reasoning to play a team that you ought to beat. Because if you don't beat that team, that will tell you something. And if you do, it will tell you something that your team, they did what they should do. But sometimes, and I know, Coach, I've had a lot of others tell me this, and I want you to tell me too, there is such a thing as a good loss.
Absolutely.
If you play competition that's better than you, but you're right there at the end, I can't help but think, and you probably feel the same way, your team showed improvement by playing as well as they did.
Well, the way I'm going to do my schedule next year is I'm going to make sure I schedule some teams that you say that we ought to beat. Probably schedule about a third of my schedule that way. And then schedule some teams that are challenging, and then look at the ones that are above us. And I'm not saying that negative about my team, because my team is a great team, but play some that we know will be a challenge. However, if we don't play anybody better, then we won't get better.
Right. Well,
So-
now here's the thing too, and that good team that you're talking about that's really better, if you play them in a close game, that's telling you your team is progressing.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be a win, but let me tell you something else I've learned too. It's awfully easy to be a winner. But for every competition, every contest, there's a loser. And they wake up in the same world every day. And I don't know what your philosophy is, Coach. I want you to share it with me. But I tell coaches, I said, I would be disappointed in you if your kids went out and gave you 100% and got beat. As long as they left it out there, you can't be disappointed if they did the best they can do. What is your philosophy and how do you look at that?
Oh, that's the way I feel about it 100%. As long as they give 100% of their effort, I don't really care what the score is at the end of the day. If we played up to our full potential, corrected mistakes we had on the field or on the court, and then if we played well and try hard and work together as a team, then the wins are going to come. So that's the way I feel about it.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, the time gets away with us. We're almost through. But what I want to tell you is I'm hoping, and I know you are too, that regardless whether you win or lose, you hope it's an enjoyable season. I want to see the athletes enjoy what they're doing. And there's winners and losers every day, every contest.
Right.
And you don't have to win on the scoreboard to be a winner in life.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons all these years ago I started this program, because I wanted to recognize you coaches for the fantastic job you do. And the thing is, what your sport is and you're competing in it, that's half of it. The other half is in the classroom, where you and other coaches such as yourself are preparing these, in this case, these young ladies for life after high school.
Well, I'm preparing them to be young ladies, young productive ladies in the society, because more than likely they're not going to go on to play professional volleyball. They might play college ball, but they're going to be, doctors, engineers, lawyers, whatever, maybe mothers, maybe not. But I'm trying to teach them to be, good young ladies.
Well, I tell you, I agree with that. I figure, I always say they'll end up being doctors, lawyers, or Indian chiefs.
Nah.
But, Coach, awfully good to meet you.
Great. Nice to meet you, too. Thank you so
Wish you all
much.
the luck
Appreciate
for
it.
you and your girls, and we're fixing to talk with a couple of
Great.
them,
Thank
and I
you.
look forward to that. But thanks for being on with us.
Great.
And, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, two young ladies that are playing a very instrumental part in the success of this year's volleyball team here at McAdory. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I got two beautiful young ladies up here that happen to be pretty good volleyball players. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you. Girls, tell me your name, what grade you're in, and what position you play.
Okay, well, my name is Morgan Bria. I am in 12th grade, and I'm an outside hitter, but I play all the way around.
My name is Jada Bryant. I am in 11th grade, and I'm a right-sided hitter, but I play all around too.
Okay, girls, now the first question that I would ask y'all is, I could take it for granted that you both played volleyball here for a little while. Tell me about starting to play for a new coach. From your aspect, talk about the transition from the coach last year to a new coach.
Well, it has been a pretty major transition in a couple of areas as far as our team dynamics and chemistry and just the way we've always done things, but it's gone pretty well. My first year here was a freshman. I was a freshman, and our previous coach was the only coach I had really ever known here. So being a senior and having a new coach was a pretty major transition for us and our team.
And how about you, Jada?
With me personally, like getting to know a new coach is easier for me because I've always had different coaches for wherever I play. Like for club, I'm always having somebody different.
Right.
So usually when I meet like a new coach, like everything my old coach told me, like I just kind of let it go back because I'm pretty sure she's probably going to tell me something different. And I usually just like compare and contrast what my old coach and new coach told me, and I work around it.
Well, I tell you, I think you've got a good idea there because it sounds like you could probably learn positive things from both of them, and then it would make you better. Girls, I know that your goal is to make the playoffs. That's what everybody plays for, and so regardless of what your record is now, and I think if I'm correct, you can correct me, but your area's games will determine whether or not you make the playoffs. So I guess you girls are always wanting to make sure that you're peaking or playing your best when you play those area games because they mean the most, and they all mean something, don't get me wrong. But I know two things about you girls before you even sit down. One, that academically you're pretty smart, or you wouldn't be sitting here. You got to make it in the classroom, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
then two, you're pretty athletic, or you wouldn't be sitting here either. So
Thank you.
now, having said that, I know you work hard in the classroom, you work hard on the volleyball court, and that takes up a lot of your time. But I know you got a lot of free time in that week. So what do you do in that free time to relax and unwind from the books and the tough practices that the coach puts y'all through?
Sleep. That's it.
Your
Yeah,
number one thing
sleep.
is sleeping.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do go to bed pretty early too, but during my free time I try, and this sounds weird to some people, but I like to keep my room pretty clean, and so to have a clean room, it relaxes me, and so I'm always cleaning up
I wish
and
I was like you.
picking up after myself and stuff like that. So
Yeah, you remind me of my wife. I tell her she should have married Mr. Clean because she is a pro at it, All right, well, girls, what do you do? Are girls, and I've often wondered this because I know about guys, we're very superstitious. And sometimes there's good reasons and sometimes they're not, but there are reasons that we are. Now, having said that, Morgan, do you have any superstitions, or do you have to do things certain ways, or you don't feel like you're going to compete your best?
I'm superstitious to a degree. I have a couple of things that I do a certain way before a game, or I'll, when we do our huddle, when we count down and say jackets on 3, I always have my left foot in because I've never done it. It's the closest to my heart. So we've always done that as a team. But as far as like wearing the same socks every game, I'm not like that. So
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's pretty good. I like that the left leg's close to the heart.
Right.
I guess it is when you think about it.
Your left side.
You're
so.
right. Now, what about you, Jada?
For me personally, I just try not to think negative, mainly because when I think negative, then negative things happen. So me personally, I like to go in thinking positive mindset. Oh, we're going to do good. We're going to win. Because if I go in thinking negative, I'm going to play negative.
Right.
And that's never a good thing. So me, I don't really have any, but just to think positive.
Well, let me ask you this. When you, and we'll start with you, Jada, when you see that schedule, your schedule, what team jumps out at you that, hey, I can't wait? Because I know you've played against a lot of different players if you play club volleyball from different schools, and you might, when you see them or play them, that's a special time too, right? So who is it you look forward to squaring off against when you see them on that schedule?
Ramsey for one, and then Hueytown.
Now, what makes those two?
Ramsey, man, because Ramsey, they're like a really good team, and they're very competitive, and they're like you when you see them, they go after every ball. They're always doing this. And then Hueytown, man, because it's it's not like that's one of our rivals basically,
That's our
and it's like
biggest area.
fun playing them sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how about you, Morgan?
I played for a pretty big club, so normally when I go to every game, every away game, I know someone on the other side of the team, other side of the net. But for me, it would probably be Gardendale. It's probably one of my favorite teams to play.
Really? Why?
Well, I know a lot of the girls on the team because we played together, and they have a girl we played together in club, but she's committed to Florida, and so I always love to like play against her, and it's always fun to see how we compete with each other. Knowing that she's going D1 is pretty.
So you know the girls on Gardendale.
Yes,
Do you know Lulu Lancaster?
I've heard of her name. Yes.
Yeah, the little short.
Oh, yeah.
That's my granddaughter.
Really?
Yeah, and she has been playing volleyball, and she plays soccer.
Oh,
And
wow.
so, but yeah, and I know that's what I've learned from her, that she learns different people, in different schools. Well, girls, and especially you, Morgan, you're fixing to be a senior, or you are a senior. Where do you hope to go to school, or do you already know?
I'm not really sure. It crossed my mind the other day about maybe trying to pursue a further career. I thought about it previously and kind of just swept it under the belt and just not really thought about it since then. But I just kind of realized that this isn't really where I want to stop. So I've thought about going to community college and trying to walk on there, potentially getting a scholarship if that's an option. But I'm not exactly sure where yet.
Oh, okay. And so, do you know what you'd like to do somewhere down the road? Maybe, have you ever thought about coaching? Or teaching and coaching?
I don't know. I don't really like to. I love talking to my teammates and being like a leader for them. And when coach elaborates on something, then I tend to have something to come behind and say also. So I do enjoy, trying to help others and help my teammates. But maybe it'll be something on the side later on. I don't know.
Okay. Well, now, Jada, very quickly, you're still got a senior year ahead of you, but have you had any thoughts of what you might want to do? What is that?
I want to go to Florida University.
Really? And what kind of courses would you take?
Oh no, I just want to go for the volleyball right now.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
actually looked into that part, but I do know that's.
Well, that's all right. We'll
volleyball.
let that part take care of
Yeah.
itself
It's
later.
gonna come later.
Well, girls, I got one last question to ask you, and our conversation will be through. And we'll start with you, Morgan. Thus far in your life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
Oh, wow. Volleyball-wise?
Volleyball or personal, either, it doesn't matter.
Well, I'll go with volleyball because it's really hard to say personally because I have so many people close to me personally. But volleyball-wise, just because I haven't known Coach Spielberger for a while, I would say that our previous coach probably had the biggest influence to me just because I had known her the longest,
Right.
and she taught me majority of what I know about volleyball. And so
Okay.
if she's watching this, then we just like to give her a shout out and tell her hey and stuff like
Well,
that.
that's absolutely fine, because I guarantee you, Coach probably appreciates what you've learned from her, too.
Yes,
And how
yes.
about you, Jada?
For me, I like to also say our previous coach, but like for my very first one would have to be Coach Lewis. Maybe because she was my very first coach, and she actually worked with me. Because before, like, I didn't know how to play volleyball at all. I was not that good, and she actually like put me on the team and helped me and get me there so I can be able to play today.
Well, I tell you what, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and you got to have people that are inspirational in your life. Girls, I wish you all the luck in the world, and the best thing I could say is I hope before the season's over with, y'all have playoffs in your season. But past that, good luck, and good luck to you as you get out of school after this year and head to the next part of your life.
Thank
okay?
you so much for coming out.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll go with different sports, different coaches, different athletes. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their number one objective.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine, shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrew Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, post-operative decisions, pre-operative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them. We're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.
And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I got a different coach with me now. We're going to be talking to the head football coach here at McAdory. And of course, we're talking about Coach Sessions. Coach Sessions, how in the world are you? And first of all, new coach here. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you've ended up here at McAdory.
Yeah, I'm originally from the Mobile area. I've been around the state a little bit. Coached in Mobile 12 or 13 years at different schools. I've got an opportunity to go to Prattville for 3 years in 07, 08, 09. It was 3 pretty good years. We won 2 and played for 1 at the time up there. Went back and was the defense coordinator at Daphne High School in 2010 and had a great team at Daphne. I was very fortunate to win the state championship that year. That kind of led to me getting the head football job at McGill-Tulane Catholic. Right. Had a great 3 years there. Moved up to the Birmingham area and took an assistant's job at Spain Park High School. Last couple of years, I decided I wanted to be a head coach again and took the Tuscaloosa County job and then went over to Gadsden City for 2 years. But, you know, I'm very fortunate and blessed to be here at McAdory, man. It's perfect for our family. It's right here in Birmingham. My wife is on CBS 42 in Birmingham, and man, great kids, great community, great tradition. So we're excited to be here.
Well, and it's always a big change, and not only for the players, but for you. And how's the transition been thus far? Because it's different not only for you and your play, but it's for the players also.
Yeah, I think it's been great, and it's been great because of David Powell, firstly, you know, who was very welcoming to me and kind of came in and showed me the ropes, spent about a week with me just walking around, showing me the ins and outs of McAdory and McCalla. And secondly, because of the players. I mean, the players were just hungry to be coached. You know, they love Coach Powell, but they have embraced us and our staff, and, you know, they get after it every day. And, you know, when they do that, I mean, that makes your job easy as a coach.
When exactly how long have you been here? Did you have a little time to get acclimated with some of the kids during the summer? Or
we had very little. I think I was the June 6th board meeting maybe. which really meant, it was probably 10th or 12th of June before I really could get started here. So we're still learning, offense, defense, special teams. I mean, every day there's some new piece of terminology or something new that our kids are learning. And, man, they've done a wonderful job with that, to be honest with you, to play the competition level that we play and still be learning an offense or a defense. So, nothing but pride from us from how these guys have went out and played on Friday nights and how they've represented our school and community.
Well, I know that right now you've played 4 games already, 2-2, and 1-1 in your region. Got homecoming this weekend, I believe, and you're playing Selma. You know anything about that team?
Yes, Selma is a fine football team. Firstly, they'll be much bigger than us. I think there are 3 or 4 kids on their roster that are 6'5", 330 or bigger. Tremendous speed, and what they've shown the ability to do this year that's a little bit different maybe is they're playing very disciplined and very sound football. So their coaching staff's doing a great job with them, and obviously they have a group of kids that are really buying into what they're doing. They've had some great success. They got after Ben Russell pretty good last week, and that's that's an eye-opening score when you blank Benjamin Russell 28-0. You're a good football team. So we know we have our hands full, and of course with all the homecoming distractions, but our guys have had a great week, and that's all you can ask of them. Come out and have a great week in this kind of heat. Again, I can't do anything but praise our players for how they're handling everything.
Now so far, like I said, being 2-2 and a new school, I mean, it takes a while for the cohesiveness to come together. Has it surprised you, the athletes you have, the young men that you have, the character they do or do not possess? Has there been any surprises?
I mean, all the not really surprised. I mean, our expectation was to come in and coach young men who were tough and young men who were mentally tough, that you could coach hard and they would get after it on Friday nights. And, I think week 1, we're a little shell-shocked, to be honest with you. Just the knowledge of what we were trying to do caught up to us a little bit. But Helena, again, is a fine football team. They got 30 seniors over there. They're very, seasoned, and they've been in that system a while. But if you just saw the difference from that game to us last Friday night, it's remarkable what these young men have done, just the amount of improvement. We're playing with 3 or 4 key guys banged up last week. That's not to make an excuse. Bessemer's a fine football team, but our guys really competed. We had an opportunity to win the game late against one of the top teams in the state of Alabama. So, we're coming. I mean, slowly but surely, if these guys will just keep doing what they're doing, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with down the stretch.
Well, I was going to say, and that was leading me to my next question. The little time you've had with them, the 4 games you've played already, does it give you an inclination that these guys are playoff caliber, barring injury, and if you keep improving? And I think that's the key with any sport. It don't matter what it is, Coach, but I'm sure that you feel this way too. You want your team peaking the closer you get to playoff time. And of course, injuries play a lot of big factor in that, but under normal circumstances, you hope your team is playing their best the closer you get there, right?
Absolutely. Our expectation still is, I mean, you said it, we're 1-1 in the region, but there's a lot of football left to be played. Our expectation is still to be region champions. That's what these guys are coming out and competing for every day. We have 3 big region games left down the stretch, or really 4 big region games left down the stretch. So kind of our mid-season, out of region games, and then we'll really get to work after these region games. But our goals are still the same, and they're still right there in front of us: to be region champions, to host a playoff game, and to go as deep as we possibly can in the playoffs.
And right now, if you had to say one side of the ball is a little bit ahead of the other, do you think the defense is caught on quicker, or the offense, or just a combination of the two?
I think both of them have their bright spots. We're playing lights out defense right now, but we kind of went into the game with probably more injuries on the offensive side of the ball. So that's not to slight those kids. They're doing a tremendous job. Defense should be ahead of offense when it comes to learning what you're doing.
I think you're right.
Now we still have a lot of install left to do on that side of the ball, and I think there's a lot of defense that will get in before the end of the year. But those guys are picking up on it really well, flying around to the football and making plays.
Yeah, well, and the other thing that you're talking about, have any of the athletes surprised you? Are they more talented than you thought, or are you expecting a whole lot more out of it?
I'm certainly not disappointed. I came in with the expectation that we had some really good players. I did my homework, watched some film with Coach Powell, as I mentioned, during that transition period, and kind of knew there's some really, really good football players here. And they've lived up to that. I mean, that's I'm not going to say surprised because I expected it, but it's not hey, I'm disappointed in them. They've shown up and played, and we have a really good football team. I think our opponents that we've played would tell you that.
Well, I'm judging from the short time that you've been with them. I think the thing from listening to you talk that you have appreciated or surprised you the most is the fact of how athletic your team is.
Like I say, I mean, they're a good group of kids. They come to work each and every day. Our expectations are very, very high, and they've done a tremendous job of striving to meet those expectations. So we're very pleased with where we're at right now. Obviously, everybody wants to be undefeated, 4-0. We do too. But our time's coming, and these guys just continue to grow closer together every day at practice. It's fun to see. So I'm excited to see what the future holds for this football team is what I'm most excited about.
Well, Coach, I want you to know that we're excited to have you in the Birmingham-Jefferson County area, because I think you're going to find out that the brand of football they play up here is as good as any in the state.
No doubt.
And all you're expecting is your team to be the best that it can be.
Sure.
And you play a big part in that. They play the other part together. Hopefully you can make it to the playoffs, do some damage. You never know. Somebody's got to win those state championships.
There's no doubt.
Your team should have as good a chance as anybody.
That's exactly right. First key, of course, is getting in. I mean, I said you got to get in the tournament, and we approach region games as playoff games. It's so important you're seeding in the tournament.
Right.
So our guys understand that, and they bring that mindset to those region games. So we're going to be fine. This football team is yet to peak, but they're headed there quickly.
Well, Coach, it's awfully good to meet you. New blood, new coaches. We see that all the time, and everybody is hoping to be very successful at the job they do. It's a combination. It takes that, though. It's your ability and putting it with your kids' ability, and it'll take you as far as you can go. We wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you, sir. And
we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be visiting 4 athletes that's going to play a big part in the success that McAdory has this football season. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well. And folks, welcome back. You can tell I got 4 strapping young athletes here that are going to be important pieces of this football team. Off to a pretty good start. I imagine they'd like to win more, but you want to lose less. That's what it's all about. What we're going to do, guys, if you will, and we'll start with you, Dee. Tell me your name, your position, and what grade you're in, please.
I'm D. Riddle. I'm in 12th grade, and I play receiver.
Okay.
Desmond Dortz, 12th grade, QB.
Kalen Daniels, 12th grade, safety.
Devontae Agee, 12th grade, outside linebacker.
Okay, now guys, going into the first question is the obvious one, and we'll start with you, Dee. Playing for a new coach, talk about what it's like in that transition for a new coach, because I guess that you played for Coach Powell for a while, right?
Yes,
So how's that been for you? It's an adjustment for coaches, it's an adjustment for the athletes as well.
Yes, sir. It's been good. You know, had to get used to stuff. I mean, different stuff happened. You know, so it's been different, but it's been good. So.
Okay, and of course, Desmond being the quarterback, how about you? Because I guarantee you those quarterbacks have a closer relationship with the coach because there's so much is expected out of you. But how's that transition been for you?
I like it because it's two different systems, so I would know how to run two different systems offensively wise. But it's been just real different, like Dee said.
Now I've never seen you play, so would I label you a throwing quarterback, or you're a better runner, or you're adept at both of them?
I throw a little bit better than I run, but I can run.
Okay. Well, the main thing then, if you throw better, coach wants you running less because you can't throw if you're on the sidelines, right? Well, that's good. And then our Kalen, Kalen,
Yes, sir.
you safety,
Yes,
and
sir.
so defensive guy,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So what's the transition been like for you as coach? Has it been pretty smooth at what you expected? More discipline, less discipline?
We're more disciplined and feel like we have better focus in practice. But the transition, it had its hard moments, but it's been pretty smooth for like.
Well, that's good because, like I try to tell athletes too, it's not only is a transition for the coach, it's for you guys too. And learning one another, it don't happen overnight. It
Yes,
doesn't.
sir.
And Devontae, being outside linebacker, what about you? Has it been a pretty smooth transition thus far?
Yes, sir. I could say last year with Coach Smith with his defense, you know, we had a real basic defense. You know, we didn't do a whole lot. And this year, Coach Ham has been doing his best to try to keep it simple. So we haven't been doing a whole lot of scheming and stuff like that from most of the teams we play. He just really lets us get out there and we just play our game. And we have a few calls and adjustments as we do each week. But I say it's been good.
Yeah, and it sounds like so far that the adjustment hasn't been major, but you're 2-2 thus far in the season. Does that surprise you? Do you think you've let one get away, or you're happy with where you're at?
Yes, sir. Last week, most definitely. I feel that playing a sophomore quarterback in an environment like Bessemer City, going over there, it's a rivalry game. So Bessemer City, they're gonna play hard. So, you know, put him in that type of heat with the game like that. So, you know, it's real. It's a lot of pressure on him. So, you know, in defense, we made our plays, but we also gave up some. We left some on the field. So, you know, that's one we wish we could have back.
Yeah, well, this is one of those situations where you feel like, especially with a new coach, that you should get better week to week, because then what he wants for y'all and what y'all hope to do for him sort of comes together. But the newness, it takes a little while. You just don't snap your fingers and that adjustment takes place, right? Well, now, let me tell you, I've often been told, and I was an athlete once 50 years ago, athletes are a superstitious bunch. And with that thought in mind, Dee, is there anything that you have to do similarly before every game, or are you superstitious at all?
Nah, I just go out and play my game.
And you feel like all that other stuff will take care of itself?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Desmond? Are you a superstition?
I am there. I got certain game day draws I wear on game day, certain socks, tights.
So you got to have it that way, or you don't feel like you're going to play your best?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about you, Kellen?
I had one, like, I just text my sister, like, before every game. That's my only one.
Really? Devontae?
I just got one. It's really something I really do. I just started this year. I put my shades on, like, during school and, like, before the game and stuff like that when we walk the field. You know, it's just something I do. I just started this year.
All right, let me tell you something about these superstitions, okay? And don't get mad at me, but that's a bunch of nonsense sort of. Let me tell you why. Because before it's all said and done, you know what's going to determine whether you do well or not? Is YOU. You guys will get out there and you'll do your best. But mentally up here, sometimes we want to think those little things make us a little bit better, don't we? Dee, when you see that schedule, now all you guys are seniors. When you see that schedule, who do you look forward to playing most?
I look forward to playing Bessemer, but Hueytown, no.
Okay, so what is it about Hueytown? Are they that talented, or do you know anybody that goes there? Or
they close and they're very talented. So
yeah. So do you know some of the players on their team? Sometimes that's you like to see them because you want to have the bragging rights, right? Okay, Desmond, how about you?
I just look forward to playing every Friday night on the
really?
lights.
It doesn't matter, right? Just line them up and you're ready to go. Killen, how about you?
My two would be Bessemer City and Hueytown.
Oh, really? Okay. For the closeness, or because maybe you know other players from the team?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Devontae?
Yes, sir. The same as Kaylin and D. It would be Hueytown and Bessemer City.
Right. All right. Now, listen, all you guys are seniors, and so off to college next year. If there was any school that you could go to, who would it be, and what do you hope to do one day? And we'll start with you, Dee.
If it was a school I could go to, it would probably be Florida.
Really? What is it about Florida that would draw you there?
Their uniforms.
Oh, really? Okay. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Desmond, how about you?
I was going to say the same, but I guess I can. Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah, but I want to major in mechanical engineering.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, that regardless, if you got to go there, first thing about it, wherever you go, if you get that education, it's going to be a plus for you. But it's nice if we can go where we'd want to go sometimes too. Killen, how about you?
I would go with Virginia Tech because they have a good history with DBs. I like to major in sports medicine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Devontae?
UCF.
Really?
Yes, sir.
What is it about them that you like?
Just the environment, being in Orlando, being around a bunch of good people, good culture down there. So I feel that you have a lot of fun and you'll learn a lot down there at this school.
Oh, okay. Now, I like to ask players such as yourself that are seniors, because you've been around a little while, who your favorite athlete is, and wide receiver, D, is there anybody that you'd pound your game out or wish you could play that way?
No, sir, I just play like myself.
Really?
Be like myself.
Well, then there's three people you really like, me, myself, and I.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Desmond, how about you?
Favorite athlete?
Who?
My favorite athlete?
Yeah, that you might like to play as well as they do. The quarterback, I'd be sort of interested in who it might be.
Tua
Really? Yeah, I guarantee you, very versatile player. Kellen, how about you?
My favorite player would probably be like Jamal Adams, like his versatility.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Devontae?
Grant Delpy.
Oh, my goodness. Look, guys, y'all named off some pretty good ball players, and if y'all can play half as good as they can. Let me ask you, time really gets away, but Dee, going into this season, do you think you and your teammates are capable of being a playoff team?
Yes, sir. I know we're going to be a playoff team.
I like that.
And Desmond, one of the most important things when it comes to playoffs is you got to knock off those people in your area, right, or your region. So you feel like you guys have a good chance to have a very positive year from the region standpoint?
Yes, sir. Because like Coach said, we look at every region game like it's a playoff game because that determines how you play. So I think we can.
Oh, okay. And how about you, Kellen?
Yes, sir. I feel like we just let one slip away, and we'll be back and we play.
Yeah, it sort of makes you want to play with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder when you think you let one get away. And so, Devontae, I guess what you do then is you've got to go out and play a little bit harder and make sure that you try to improve every week, And if you do that and play well together, all the rest of it will take care of itself, right?
Yes,
well, guys, it's been good talking to you, all 4 of you are seniors, so I wish you the best of luck when you get out of high school into your college careers, and whether it be playing football at the next level or getting that education at the next level where it's going to help you in whatever occupation you might choose to have. The last question I got, and we'll start with you, Dee. To this point in your young life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
My mom.
Yeah, mom's always there, isn't she? Okay. How about you, Desmond?
My stepdad.
Oh, okay. Killen?
I would have to go with my mom too.
Okay. And how about you, Devontae?
My dad.
Okay. Well, guys, here's the whole thing. You don't want to disappoint yourself. And let me tell you a little bit something about the coaches as we close here. The coaches, they want to win as bad as you do. But if you go out there and give it everything you got, they're as proud of you as they can possibly be. So that's what we were talking about you talked about, you let one get away. You don't leave them on the table no more.
Yes,
You take care of business. Good luck to you. I think y'all got some athletes that can perform great in the playoffs, but we can't talk about it. Y'all go out there and prove it, okay?
Yes, sir.
And so it's good to have you on the show, and best of luck to you, and best of luck as you head out into your college careers next year, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, folks, we've had an interesting show, 2 outstanding coaches, outstanding athletes. We'll get together and do it again next week. Till then, you know what the snapper always says, bicycle.
All right, guys, now you say bicycle.
Bicycle.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine, shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrew Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, post-operative decisions, pre-operative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them. We're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.